This is what you call a gnarly and twisted cow's hoof. And this is the Hoof GP. So OGs, and I know that it means OGs, original gangsters. People who have followed this channel for years and years will know this cow has been on the channel before. Actually about 2.5 or 3 years ago, I can't quite remember. But this will just show you the journey of a cow with lameness. If you come around to the back, you'll see that her feet are really well looked after. Clearly I've already trimmed these, but you can tell I haven't really had to do anything because they are routinely trimmed when they're needed to be. And looking at her back right foot, it's the same old story. Nothing wrong with them at all because they are well looked after. But if you come and look at this front left foot, you would be forgiven for thinking that a cow like this hasn't been looked after. But as I've just told you, she's been in videos for the past 2.5 or 3 years. This cow had a problem when she was much younger, and that has retarded the hoof formation, resulting in this. A twisted, contorted, gnarled cow's foot. The inside claw is well looked after, and in fact, this isn't super overgrown. It's just beginning to curl up. It's now at the point though where we need to step in yet again and reduce all of that overgrowth. Take the weight away from this gnarly and twisted outer foot to make her much more comfortable, because now the overgrowth is hindering her ability to walk comfortably. In case you don't remember, here's what she looked like a few years ago. We have trimmed her a lot since then. I just haven't put her in videos, but this is what her foot looked like in the very beginning. Again, twisted and gnarly, and I told you during that video that her foot would never look correct. We can't fix it. Well, the proof is in the pudding. Here we are again today, after many, many visits, and we haven't corrected her foot. What we have done, and what farmers around the world do constantly though, is we've kept her comfortable. And that's what we're doing today. This cow has just calved, meaning that for the last few months she has been very heavily in calves, which is not an ideal to trim a cow's foot. You really don't want to be putting a cow who's heavily in calf in a crush if you don't need to. She's not incredibly painful by any means. She's just been uncomfortable. So why risk her and the calf by putting her into a crush when really we're not going to cure this problem? We're just making it a tiny little bit more comfortable. Much better to wait till she's had the calf, i.e. now, and then put her back to where she should be. So this is toe necrosis. Inside, the bone has actually begun to decay away, so there's nothing supporting the outer growth of that hoof horn wall, if that makes sense, which I think it does. So instead of the hoof following the contours of the bone, it's now arching its way up because there's literally nothing in there for it to follow. We're going to snip away as much of this as we can with these nippers. You can see how thick that hoof horn growth is. Now we're going to reduce all of this with the grinder. Finding it really difficult to get in there. It's really difficult to get into this. You can actually see a bit of delamination down here, which is slightly different to last time I trimmed her. If you did this to a normal cow, sorry, you're a normal love, but a normal looking hoof, you would be creating a huge problem. just keeps going and going and going, doesn't it? We'll just take out this part here from the axial wall. We've just about done as much as we can. Remember, this now isn't about trying to heal this cow. We healed her years ago when we treated her for toe necrosis when it was an open lesion. Now it's about keeping her comfortable. Just look at the size difference. So if we put the before up on the screen right now and then compare it to how it is now, that is unbelievable. We've removed probably 3 or 4 inches from the tip of her toe. But the block is what's going to make her more comfortable, because that is what's going to lift up the uncomfortable foot off the ground. Right, let's see what it looks like on the ground. Just look at that. No weight whatsoever on this foot. In fact, look, I can safely put my fingers completely underneath it because it's no longer touching the ground. That is exactly the story with farms that we work at constantly. The continual upkeep and care for the cows in these farmers' care. It just goes to show that even because a foot starts out terribly, doesn't mean it's the end of the cow.